applicable law to be applied. Next will be the parties' opening statements. The state will describe the evidence it intends to present so that you will have an idea of what the state's case is about. The opening statement itself is not evidence. It operates to help you understand the evidence that will be presented during the trial. After the state's opening statement, the defense may make an opening statement. Then comes the state's case in chief, during which the state will present its evidence. The evidence will most likely consist of physical exhibits, documents, and the testimony of witnesses. The witnesses will testify by answering questions asked by the lawyers for the parties. Jurors, you will be allowed to ask witnesses questions. Any juror who has a question for a witness should.
Oh, they can ask questions. Hey, Rosewater, Stadius, Melissa, welcome back, y'all.
Officers know. The questions will remain anonymous and should not include your name. The court will consult with the parties outside your hearing to decide how and whether the question should
Hey,
be
Melissa.
asked.
Did I say that already? I think I did.
The juror's question in whole or in part, or may change the wording of the question. This is very important. You shall not give any meaning to any question that was not asked or that the meaning of the word has been changed. The question might not have been asked because doing so would be unfair to the defense. Your question might not be asked because it would be unfair to the state. The question might not be asked because both lawyers have decided not to ask the question. The question might be asked because another witness might be better suited to answer your question. Here's the takeaway. You cannot speculate as to why one of your questions was not asked or why it was asked in a different form. It could be for a number of very important reasons or not so important reasons. But one thing is for certain, speculating is definitely unfair to someone. That's why you cannot speculate on why a question was not asked. After the state completes its case in chief, the defendant may present evidence. Again, the defendant is not required to put on any evidence or to testify. The burden always remains on the state to establish that the defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. After you've heard all the evidence,
okay, let's get to the opening statements. I thought we were almost there.
Finally, the parties will be offered an opportunity to present closing arguments. During closing arguments, the parties will summarize their cases and help you understand the evidence.
I could be wrong, like I usually am, but I don't think this will be a real long trial. Hey, welcome back.
Hey, thank you.
Did you get something to eat?
I did, yes. I have a really bad headache because I waited too long. So I'm just waiting for that to go away.
I mopped a little bit and could put some eggs on. I got an egg cooker, y'all. Let me shout out before we're waiting on opening statements to all the people that are here, which are many. Anyway, look, I can never boil an egg, and I got this thing that just cooks perfect eggs. You just put it in there, turn it on, eggs are boiled.
Nice.
Love it. Look, $8 on Amazon. Yeah.
Nice. Love that.
I hope your head feels better soon.
Thank you. Me too. It will.
See if we
I ate something, so I should be feeling better any minute now.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard this or not, but the jury is going to get to ask questions.
Oh, fun. I love when they can do that.
Yeah, me too. Oh, I understand, Pammy. Me too. That's why I've been up and down and up and down. No disappointments here today. He's going to come home to dinner.
On that objection, the rulings only relate to the legal guidance that the court must provide to lawyers and should not influence your thinking. If an objection to a question is sustained, do not attempt to guess what the answer might have been, have the witness be permitted to give it. Similarly, you will proceed.
I do wish he was louder.
Not to consider a particular statement.
Yes.
And you should therefore put that statement out of your mind. And you may not refer to that statement in your later deliberations. Finally, during the course of trial, we may have to halt proceedings to confer about the rules of law that should apply. We may have bench conferences in the courtroom outside of your hearing For more complex issues, you may be moved to the jury room. These conferences resolve legal issues and guide our trial proceedings, so please remain patient because in the long run, it'll save time for everyone.
Dang, that was 2 loads of laundry I could have folded.
Ready to read the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
But
State of Tennessee, Criminal Court for Hamilton County, 2023. Count 1, the grand jurors upon their oath do present that Jason Chen on or about the 23rd day of November 2022 in Hamilton County, Tennessee, and before the finding of this indictment, did unlawfully, intentionally, and with premeditation inflict
what in the
mortal
world
injury
is up
on
with this
Jasmine
audio?
Pace, which resulted in the death of Jasmine
Nobody
Pace
believes in using microphones, huh? It's ridiculous.
In violation of Tennessee Code annotated 39-13-202 against the peace and dignity of the state.
There you go.
Count 1.
Count 2, the grand jurors upon their oath do present that Jason Chen on or about the 23rd day of November 2022
That's not
in
me.
Hamilton County, Tennessee, and before the finding of this indictment did knowingly, without legal privilege, physically mistreat a corpse in a manner offensive to the sensibilities of an ordinary person, or disposed of a corpse in a manner known to be in violation of the law, in violation of Tennessee Code annotated 39-17-312 against the peace and dignity of the state. This indictment, Judge. This indictment was signed by the District Attorney General and was filed with the clerk of the courts on March the 23rd, 2023. Thank you, Your Honor.
Raise it up. Raise up your microphone, please.
I'll be here, but I'll be right back.
Okay.
This is the suitcase in which Jason Chen stuffed the 98-pound body of Jasmine Pace. That's where I'm going to begin the story. Except I want you to remember that as you hear evidence in the next week, that this is not a story like the one that you read in a novel where you have to imagine the appearances of characters. The evidence that you will hear in this case is very real. The evidence will not require that you use your imagination. Jasmine Pace was very real. And Jason Chen really killed her. The suitcase was located in a brushy area just yards from the bank of the Tennessee River and right off of Suck Creek Road. In it was the body of Jasmine Pace, who had been placed in a fetal position inside of 3 black trash bags.
Mm.
Her right ankle was handcuffed to her right wrist. Her left ankle had been shackled to her right arm. Her wounds were extensive. You will hear from Dr. Cogswell, the medical examiner for Hamilton County, who will describe those wounds in great detail. He stabbed her over and over and over again, not 7 times, not 29 times, not 43 times, but 60 stab wounds. One wound, a through and through, from the right side of the neck all the way through the left. Another so deeply penetrated her rib cage that the tip of the knife broke off into her lung. you will see the tip of that knife. The state of Tennessee is required to prove to you 3 elements for first-degree premeditated murder. The first is that Jasmine was intentionally killed. The second is that it was with premeditation. You will hear facts and evidence. You will see photos. You will hear from witnesses that allow you to believe beyond a reasonable doubt that she was intentionally killed and that premeditation was involved. But the third element is that the state of Tennessee has to prove that he did it. I'm going to start from the beginning.
Good.
The two of them had been seeing each other, Jason and Jasmine. On Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022, the week of Thanksgiving, Jasmine left her home and drove to Jason's apartment, a 1-bedroom apartment where he lived by himself. She was never heard from again after November 23rd. After November 23rd, 2022, her friends and family never heard from her. She never returned home, and she missed Thanksgiving. Like most families would, they knew something was wrong. You will learn that Jasmine's family quickly suspected that Jason Chen had something to do with her disappearance. Despite the family's best efforts to get the police department involved, initially the Chattanooga Police Department was of no help. Jasmine's family was forced to take matters into their own hands. So, on November 26th, 2022, you will learn that Jasmine's family broke into his apartment. You will hear that. You will hear that they were trying to find their daughter and their sister, and that they went in to his apartment. Of course, Jason wasn't there, but what was there? Some of Jasmine's belongings, including her driver's license and her credit cards. You will hear from a mother who was desperate to find her daughter.
falls on his hands and knees to the bathroom, rose up.
Sorry, y'all.
He lays there.
Am I back? Hello? Wendy. Oh, Wendy must have had to go somewhere. Y'all wait till y'all hear the defense. We're just gonna go straight to it. Because I was listening to it while I was rebooting. Hold on, let me pull it up. Wow. Let me see if I can share it without it. I can hear me, I think, on Wendy's.
Jasmine Pace.
Let me see.
You will be convinced that he stuffed her body in this suitcase after placing it in trash bags because you will hear from a fingerprint expert.
There we go, y'all.
The fingerprint expert will tell you that Jason Chen's fingerprints were found on the inner nose. In the first few days of trial, you're going to see a few witnesses that may at first seem confusing to you. Bear with me. They are going to be laying the foundation for evidence that you will see through Chattanooga Police Department homicide investigators Avery Crawford. Week, this doubt that Jason Chen handcuffed, sliced, stabbed, packaged, and discarded Jasmine Pace. I ask that you carefully consider this evidence. The state of Tennessee will give you the dots, and we will help you connect them. At the end of trial,
I can't wait for y'all to hear his defense.
I'm going to humbly ask that you find Jason Chen guilty of murdering Jasmine Pace in the first degree and then abusing her corpse. Thank you.
Mr. Chen.
I told you when we were in Nashville that I wouldn't waste your precious time. I have no intention to waste it during the course of this trial. In the early morning hours of November 23rd, 2022, Jason Chen killed Jasmine Pace. He didn't do it with premeditation. This is a voluntary manslaughter case. Voluntary manslaughter is the intentional or knowing killing of another in the state of passion produced by adequate provocation, sufficient to lead a reasonable person to act in an unreasonable manner. The state told you during jury selection that in order to prove first-degree murder, they don't have to prove that it was a crime, but it wasn't.
Get behind the
The
mic.
state told you in jury selection that they don't have to prove a motive, Jason Chen is a first-generation Chinese American. He grew up in Nolensville. His parents worked at a Chinese restaurant, worked very hard bringing him up. Jason graduated from high school and then went to college here at Chattanooga, University of Tennessee, at Chattanooga, UTC. In November of 2022, he was a senior with a major in computer science. The year before, he and Jasmine started communicating. They met on Tinder. And after exchanging messages back and forth, they started texting using iMessage. You're going to see the iMessages between Jason and Jasmine. You're going to see how their relationship progressed through these text messages. In 2021, they dated for a few months, but then lost touch. But then about 8 months later, in May of 2022, they rekindled that relationship. They started dating, seeing each other more and more. They obviously got much closer. They traveled to Chicago together that summer. And you're going to see through the text messages, someone was obviously more into this relationship than the other. Jasmine started getting feelings for Jason. And you're going to see through those text messages that Jason didn't reciprocate that as much as she did. Then you come to the week of
Hey, Florida
November
Gray.
22nd. It was Thanksgiving week. Jasmine and her family lost their grandmother. She was in grief. And on the night of November 22nd, around 11 p.m., she came over to Jason's house. And they did what they always do. They drink wine, smoke pot, smoke wax, watch movies, and do what 22-year-olds do. On the night of November the 22nd, they were drinking wine in the back bedroom. You're going to see pictures of the apartment. This apartment is 500 square feet. You can get from the front door to the back door or back wall, less than 10 seconds walking. Very small apartment. In order to open one bottles of wine in the bedroom, Jason had to go to the kitchen and get a kitchen knife to take off that plastic wrapper that goes around the top of wine bottles.
Mm-hmm.
So he was able to get off the top of the wine bottle, the plastic wrapper, and he placed it on his nightstand. At a certain point, they finish off the bottle of wine, and Jasmine goes back into the kitchen to get another bottle. And there on the counter is Jason's cell phone. Ding, 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 ding. That familiar Tinder ding that Jasmine and Jason knew so well because that's how they met. Jasmine looked at his phone and saw all these messages with other girls, with other people. And this was infuriating to her. She was already in grief, and it sent her in anger into a rage, and they started yelling, fighting, verbally.
Yes, y'all. I hate to stop it here, but we are going to have another episode of self-defense, even though chopped up all that stuff. He didn't call the cops, chopped her up. Yes.
Jason came into the kitchen, and you're going to hear from witnesses that can hear both of them arguing. You're going to hear from witnesses that heard this dispute, not the words, but could hear them yelling. Jasmine attacked Jason with an empty wine bottle. And in reaction, Jason kicked her, and she fell backwards, knocking over wine glasses.
Mm-hmm.
She picked up one of the wine glasses and ran towards Jason, and Jason retreated, going from the kitchen to his bedroom, which you have to go through the bathroom. She chased after him, and he was trying to close the door to the bathroom, but couldn't because the bath mat got in the way. Then tried to run from the bathroom into the bedroom, but there was a pocket door, and it's impossible to close. And he gets back into his bedroom, and Jasmine is right there coming at him with this broken glass. Jason sees the knife, and he reacts. And he stabs. He blacked out.
Of course.
Your heart is racing. You're in that fight or flight response. Your adrenaline is running. You're in a panic. You're in fear. You don't know what's going to happen next. And he panicked. He comes to. laying over Jasmine's body, kneeling over it. He's bloody. Sickened by it, Jason crawls on his hands and knees to the bathroom and throws up. He lays there for minutes. And then he goes back into the room and sees what he's done. He's scared, in a panic, and he doesn't know what to do. And I wish I was telling you right now that he called 911, that he called the police, but he didn't. He should have. But even if he had called the police, I still think that we'd be having the same trial today, arguing the exact same issues. From there, Jason decides that he has to cover this up. He has to hide what he's done. He's scared for what his future entails, but more importantly, the shame that he's going to bring on his family, the shame that comes with everything that he's being accused of today. So he sets down this course of trying to hide it. He places Jasmine in trash bags, puts the handcuffs on her after she is dead, so that way she can fit into the trash bags, and so that he can put her into that suitcase. Where he then takes her body in that suitcase and drops her by the banks of the Tennessee River here in Chattanooga. He then sets on course to try to clean up the apartment to his best of his ability. He does a poor job. He tries to hide the fact that what he did by texting her parents, texting Jasmine's parents, by pretending to be her on social media, whatever he can do to give himself an alibi. It's selfish and it's wrong. But he panicked and he thought this was the best course of action. There's a couple other things that complicate this case. You're going to hear about Katrina Pace, Jasmine's mother. Any person whose child is missing, who would go to such lengths and have such courage, should be commended. She broke into Jason's apartment to search for her daughter. She also went in other times than that first time. She went in at least 3 or 4 other times, doing 2 things. One, contaminating the scene. She couldn't know what had happened there. I don't think that she purposely contaminated it. But what that's going to show in the evidence is the state's going to show you what's called luminol, blue star agent. That reacts with blood, and it creates a blue image. The cleaning materials and the blood that Jason cleaned up was tracked by Katrina Pace, all of her family that went in and out of this apartment. It was tracked by law enforcement officers going in and out, tracking all through the apartment. Police, in this case, Chattanooga Police Department, and I'm embarrassed to say it, they were incompetent and impotent and unable to help Katrina Pace. In order to incentivize, in order to get the Chattanooga Police Department to look for their missing, look for Katrina's missing daughter, to get them to go and look for Jason and to arrest him, she had to stage the scene. She, or perhaps others, I don't know, went into Jason's apartment after meeting with the Chattanooga Police Department to make the scene look more incriminating than it actually was.
What?
You'll see a knife on the bed.
I can't hear him. I can't hear a word he's saying, Randy.
Chattanooga Police Department through the apartment initially before the search warrant was issued. You're going to see the differences between what
Do you
the apartment
see the
was
closed captions now?
and what it looked like after.
You can't hear him at all?
I mean, I hear him mumbling. I don't know what he's saying. And no, I don't see any closed captions. Do you?
Yes.
Okay, so they're only showing up on your screen. They're not going to show up for the rest of us. Damn. All right. Let me see
Oh,
if I
they're
can
not?
Nope. Let me see if I can turn
Oh.
on my side then.
Let me see if it's better on any other
All right, hit
because
play. Let
he's
me see if
saying
it's,
okay.
hit play real quick. Let me see if it's working on my side. It's picking you up.
The second issue.
Yes, it's picking him up. Okay, let me try this then.
Ineffectiveness of the Chattanooga Police Department. You're going to hear Zach Crawford. You're going to hear him testify at this trial that he told Katrina Pace and her family that he would tarnish this investigation if it meant bringing Jasmine back. Well, that begs the question: what did he do, or what could he have done to tarnish this investigation? What could he have done to manufacture premeditation so the state can show that to you today and over the course of this week? I promised you not to waste your time.
Oh.
The state's talking about fingerprints on trash bags, DNA found at the scene. I don't intend to ask me is whether there's premeditation. If there is no premeditation, this is not first-degree murder. This killing didn't happen after calm and cool reflection as the law requires. This is Jason. After being sufficiently provoked, after having his girlfriend run at him with a bottle, with a broken glass, and him reacting in a panic, but acting irrationally. Jason Chen is guilty, but he's not guilty of the crime that he's charged with. Jason Chen should be found guilty of the crime he did, not the crime he did. Thank you.
The rule has been requested. If anybody's going to testify in this case that's not the lead investigator for the case or a member of the Pace family, you go and step out.
Maybe it'll get better now.
All right, John, fire first witness.
Your Honor, I asked for a DVD on Your Honor's screen. The state's gonna call to the stand Katrina Bean.
You can play it through your laptop.
Yes, Your Honor.
I just can't believe we have another defense like this one.
This is the first time.
You may step out anytime, Space.
It never seems to work. I don't know why people keep doing it.
Space first witness.
Yeah.
Space. Hang on a moment, please. Swan, you want
Good to see you, British.
Well, the court's give me 2 minutes, judges.
Step out. Yeah.
All right, so we got 2 minutes before they come back. I don't actually know what's happening. I know this is some of the worst audio that we've ever tried to deal with.
Oh, it's so frustrating. Did you
It
hear
is.
any of
Like, I
what he
can-
was trying to say? So he's trying to claim
Yeah.
self-defense.
Yes. He's trying to say that she came at him with first a wine bottle and then a wine glass broke and she came at him with that and he had no choice but to basically stab her 60 damn times. But he's like, he's not innocent, he is guilty, and what he's guilty of is, I guess, hiding his crime or whatever, trying to hide it. But we know he's saying that this was a fit of jealousy, basically, that his little beeps was going off because he was getting so many Tinder messages. Come on, y'all saw him.
Yeah, I find that really hard to believe, actually. But so he's
Yeah.
saying that she was jealous
Um,
and she attacked him in a fit of jealousy.
and second, the rest of
Yeah,
you
you're breaking up.
can stay. Sir, you can stay.
Is he saying that she attacked him in a fit of jealousy?
Now we have a restroom break.
Yes.
Yes. Yep. That's exactly what's happening.
Okay.
She got so jealous over all his Tinder messages. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, Jan.
Yeah. He was
So
not
what are we
Tinder
doing? We're
worthy.
going back
I
into-
can't.
They're taking a restroom break right
Hmm?
now? I said, what's happening right now? They're taking a restroom break?
I guess. Yeah.
Should we go back
Something
and try to hear?
happened.
Go ahead.
I don't know. You can't hear it.
Well, okay. So do you know what it was opening statement? What was she saying? She said something about the grand jury. Did you hear that?
No. No, because
Ugh.
I kept getting booted. It's
Yeah,
a day.
that's okay. We'll get caught up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, okay. So she was so jealous because he was getting, all the ladies. And
Totally.
so she came at him with a wine bottle, I guess. And he's admitting that he tried to hide. See, the only reason that people do self-defense is because that's literally the only thing they can do. It's either insanity or self-defense. Other than that, you got no shot. You got no shot
Especially when you're
at,
caught.
yeah. You have no chance to get away with this unless you can make somebody believe that you were defending yourself, which I don't know. I find that a little hard to believe. But we'll see what the jury thinks.
This one may be easier just to watch it and do highlights at night. What do you think?
I mean, I don't have a way to listen to it, so I'm not gonna be able to give any highlights either.
I'm
If I can't.
afraid I'll have to. I'm very afraid that I'm going to have to take notes and wear an AirPod.
Right. Well, let's hear how they go with the first witness,
Okay.
and we'll decide after that. If we can't hear anything that the first witness is saying either, then we'll scrap it, I guess, and go to plan B. But if the prosecution is happily ready to use the microphone, then hopefully we'll hear them.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
all they have to do because when they use it, you can hear them.
Yeah, I know. That's all we need. Just please use the microphone. It's right there. Provided for you and everything. Please use it. That'd be great. But I think, especially when this is the second time Owens did the same thing, and I think it's like he wanted to get close to the jury, or make it feel like he's just chatting with his friends at the jury.
And again, it's not, I don't like being a complete naysayer of all defendants, but I have to think, come on.
No, I'm not a naysayer or defend. I mean, if you're not guilty,
No. I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying this one, again, I can't believe another wine bottle, she started it, so he finished it. I mean, who stabbed somebody 60 times? I'm just bitching. Apparently to myself. Are we even here anymore? Okay, now Wendy fell out. You can hear me? You can hear me? Hi, Tracy. It's so good to see you. Wendell got booted. Tracy, I sure miss seeing you. My self-defense 60 times. No, remember when I went all the way through it? I mean, why not just stab her and run, or maybe a couple of times? I don't know what happens, but come on. It's crazy that we're going to get the same defense that, I don't know. Another channel has a person on stand. Yeah, I could fast. Let's see. I am behind just a little bit.
Do you have children?
There we go.
How many? And, is one of them Jasmine Pace? Yes.
There we go.
Who is Jasmine's biological father? Travis Pace. How old was Jasmine in November of 2022? 22 years old. And can you describe to the jury, just generally, Jasmine's size? She was tiny. She weighed 100 pounds. Where was Jasmine living in November of 2022? In our pool house. And where would your house, would the pool house be located? Our house is right above the pool house. What's the address? 5977 Old Dayton Pike. Is that Chattanooga? Was Jasmine working anywhere in 2022? Yes, she worked for us. And what is us mean? Can you explain that?
My husband and I have a construction company. She ran our office.
Ms. Bean, you're very soft-spoken. I want to make sure that the jurors hear the witness, okay? Everyone okay? You can't just raise your hand, okay? Thank you, Ms. Bean.
I want you to talk to the jury about what was going on in your family.
I guess that's her mom.
The week of Thanksgiving in 2022, specifically the 21st and the 22nd. Can you talk to the jury about that?
My grandmother that raised me, that's my mom, fighting cancer. Just got finished her treatments and thought it had a shooting a remission and she got sick and quickly, within a 24-hour
Hey, Pam.
period, we had to take her to the emergency room that morning of the 22nd. And she died that evening in the emergency room. With all of her family present, including Jasmine and myself.
Was Jasmine close to her grandmother?
Yes.
You testified that Jasmine lived in your pool house. How often were you seeing Jasmine in this period of time?
Saw Jasmine every day, on and off, all day, every day.
Because she lived there and she worked for you?
And we were very close.
That's her heart.
At some point, after her grandmother passed away, were you not able to get in touch with Jasmine?
Correct. The next day.
Were you calling her?
I was calling and didn't answer. I sent messages.
abnormal?
To not hear from Jasmine, yes. And for her not to be there for her family, yes.
Did you know if she was seeing anyone in terms of a dating relationship?
Yes.
And who was that person?
Jason Chen.
And to your knowledge, what was their relationship at that point in time?
They're getting to know each other. She wasn't ready for us to meet him.
So you had never met him?
No,
She had never gone to the house?
no.
Was she private?
She does.
So, when was the last time you saw Jasmine?
November 22nd, 2022.
Do you know, about what time, what day she left your house for the last time?
It was about 11 o'clock at night, I guess.
What caused you to finally take a step to go to Verizon to see if you could check her cell phone records?
Objection. Lack of foundation.
Lay the proper foundation.
You testified that you could not get a hold of your daughter.
No,
Did you try on the 24th?
yes.
Were other friends and family trying on the 24th?
I'm not sure. I followed up with the friend that I had received a message from. Her phone line saying that she was going to be with, and I couldn't get a hold of her, so I got a hold of her grandmother. Said that Jasmine had not been there for Thanksgiving. And a friend reached me and said that she hadn't heard from Jasmine, that was, she had not been up there, and I was immediately concerned, and I went to Verizon to see about her phone data, if I could locate her. I seen that there hadn't been any activity on her phone for several days, and so I bought a cheap phone in Verizon and had her phone line put on it so that I could get messages that sign into her car
Okay,
app.
okay, let's pause there, because we just testified to a lot. So you testified just now that you learned that Jasmine was not with her friend who you thought she could have been with. Who was that friend?
Emma,
And how did you know that?
because her grandmother and her both said that she wasn't there with them,
Why did you think that Jasmine would have been with him?
because I received a message from Jasmine's phone on the 23rd, which at the time I didn't pay attention to the wording, because I was so upset about my grandmother. And but on the 26th, when I started getting really concerned, I went back and I read the text again, and the wording said, I'm going with my girlfriend, Emma, to spend Thanksgiving in South Carolina, which Jasmine wouldn't have texted me introducing Emma as her girlfriend because I knew Emma. Emma had spent lots of time around me. So there would be no reason for Jazzy to introduce her that way. That was odd. And then also, I was almost certain that Emma's family is from Kentucky, not South Carolina.
Did you reach out to Emma's family?
I did, her grandmother.
And what did you learn?
Jasmine had not been there with her.
Was that really what sparked your significant concern that something could be wrong?
Yes,
And, so then you testified that you went to Verizon, is that correct?
yes,
Okay, now, so let's slow down. You went to Verizon and did explain to them what you asked for them to do and then what Verizon was able to do with Jasmine's phone.
so I logged into our account because Jasmine's phone line is on our plan. And I looked at her activity on her phone line, see if calls made out, calls coming in, text message, if there was any data activity, anything. And there hadn't been for several days.
Okay. No calls? No activity on apps? What is the My Chevy app?
It's an app that tracks your vehicle's movements.
What kind of vehicle did Jasmine drive?
A Chevy, SUV.
Okay. And is, My Chevy something that comes with the vehicle?
It is.
With every Chevrolet?
I'm not sure.
You knew at that time that it came with Jasmine's stuff?
Yeah.
Were you involved in purchasing Jasmine's vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And so, what did you do to log into the My Chevy app?
I had her phone line put on as a different phone that I had to confirm the text. You get a confirmation so you can log in.
Okay. And what was the point of looking at the My Chevy? I mean, it might seem obvious, but what was the point?
So I could locate her car. I couldn't locate her, hadn't talked to her, found out that she wasn't where I had received a message saying she was gonna be or who she was gonna be with. So the next thing would be to find her car, and maybe I find her.
And did the My Chevy app show that she left her house on November 22nd, 2022?
It did.
And did it show you a destination for her vehicle on November 22nd, 2022?
It did.
I'm going to show you two separate pictures and just ask you to look at them for a second. Do you recognize those two pictures?
Yes.
What is that?
This is from the My Chevy app, a map and then a timeline of her car's movements on November 22nd at 11:27 p.m.
Do these photos accurately represent what you saw when you pulled up her My Chevy app on November 26, 2022?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask that this be State's Exhibit number 1. It's 2 pages.
Any objection?
There you go.
Exhibit 1.
Permission published. All right, so I know that this is strange where you're sitting, but this is going to be behind you, so you can sort of turn and also talk to the jury at the same time. So Chevrolet Smart Driver, that's sort of how we know it's a Chevrolet, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and then, November 22nd, 2022, that this reflects the time that her vehicle showed?
Yes.
Okay. And you see this black dot up there?
Yes.
What does that represent to you?
That's the area that my house is at.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. The second page of State's Exhibit 1. Does it show you the address from which the vehicle left and arrived?
Yes.
And, can you read that address out loud?
5977 Old Dayton Pike.
Right.
That's my address.
And then destination?
To 108 Tremont Street.
Did you know at that time what was at 108 Tremont Street?
No,
Did it mean anything to you?
no.
Do you recognize those two documents?
Yes. and timeline of her car's movements from the app.
Okay, and, is that an accurate reflection of what you saw on the My Chevy app attached to Jasmine's car in November of 2022?
It is.
Your Honor, I asked this mistakes exhibit number 2, it's a 2-page document.
So it's
Hmm.
All right, so now we pull this up on the screen. This black dot down here, what does that mean to you?
That's where her car started.
Well, around, and you can look at state's exhibit number 1 if you like. What approximate location do you recall? What approximate location was that?
The Tremont Street.
Okay, and then, can you see here where that, do you see what that little black dot says? Can you read that? Would you agree that it says start? Here it is. Would you agree that it says start?
Yes. Yes, it says start.
Okay, and so this is November 23rd. This is the next day, right?
Yes.
And so what does that black dot say?
That's where the vehicle stopped.
Okay, next page here, this will help you a little bit. So the My Chevy app showed that on November 23rd, 2022, a vehicle started at 108 Tremont Street
Yes.
and then ended just a few minutes later, arrived rather at 900 Mountain Creek Road. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, Ms. Bean, based on this, what did you and your family proceed to do?
We went to 900 Mountain Creek Road
Why?
because that's where her car was last.
And at this point in time, who was with you?
My husband and I believe my Jasmine's sister Gabby had met us there. I don't remember where she arrived. My oldest son.
Okay,
Um,
is that it?
I think so.
What was located at 900 Mountain Creek Road?
My daughter's car.
What area was that?
It's apartment buildings. It was in the back corner of the apartment buildings.
When you say it, you mean her vehicle was?
Yes.
So, explain to the jury what you did when you arrived at 900 Mountain Creek Road. What did you and your family proceed to do?
We called the police.
After you found her vehicle,
Yeah.
did you fairly quickly find her vehicle?
Yes, it took us right to it.
The My Chevy app took you right to it?
The address on my Chevy. Yeah.
Took you right to her vehicle? Is anybody in her vehicle?
No.
Were the doors locked?
Yes.
And then you stated that you called the police.
Yes.
Did a police officer come to 900 Mountain Creek Road?
Yes.
There are 4 photos here, Ms. Bean. I will just take a look at those. You recognize those photos?
Yes.
What's depicted in those photos?
My daughter's car is in 2 of the photos, and my husband and I are in a photo. And on another photo, you can see Jasmine's sister, myself, talking on the phone to Jason Chen, and my husband also in the corner talking to the officer.
Do you know if these photos are from a body camera from November 23rd, 2022?
I'm assuming.
Okay. Was that, are they taken from the point of view of the officer to your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. And to accurately reflect what that apartment building and that parking lot looked like on November 23rd, 2022?
Yes.
I'd ask for these 4 photos to be taken to the jury judge.
Are they separate photos?
There are 4.
Okay, can we mark them separately? I think it's easier for you.
Yes, Your Honor.
So it's 3, unless that will mess up your presentation.
No.
Okay. Exhibits 3, 4, 5, and 6. One mark. Go ahead.
Sure. Just a matter of order.
Yeah.
You know, you can refer to the exhibit number when you're talking.
Yes.
Jurors, you will be able to take these exhibits back to the courtroom with you, so when you hear a witness or you're talking about exhibit 3, exhibit 5, make a note of it. It'll make it easier for you to refer to the juror. Thank you, gentlemen.
Behind you, Miss Bean, you will see state's exhibit number 6. Is that yourself in the white t-shirt?
Yes.
Who is that next to you?
My husband.
And I'm gonna have you with this pointer here. You can see that red is a button. If you can point out Jasmine's vehicle. Okay, and that is the white Chevrolet. Okay. Then,
Also, right there, just this vehicle.
okay, state exhibit number 5, which is the witness is looking at, and that, again, the closest vehicle to us, correct, is Jasmine's vehicle.
Correct.
Right. This would be state's exhibit number 3. Describe who we see in that photo.
That is Jasmine's sister, Gabby Pace. That's myself. That's my husband.
Okay. One more photo, and then I'm gonna go back to this one. I'm sorry. I think we have 2 of the same exhibit, Judge.
Call exhibit 4 duplicate.
Yes, Judge.
Exhibit 4
It's
duplicate.
before is duplicate, Judge. Okay. Katrina, did you,
Are we eliminating that exhibit or?
It's exhibit 4, so we can refer to it as exhibit.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
do you know anybody that lives at 900 Mount Creek Road?
No,
Did you ever know Jasmine to visit 900 Mount Creek Road?
no.
Did you knock on any doors that night?
We knocked on so many doors. The apartment complex is large, but I can't tell you how many doors we knocked on.
Did you learn anything significant?
No.
So you testified that in one of these photos, which is the photo that's on the screen behind you, states exhibit number 3, that you were on the phone with Jason Chen.
Correct.
Why did you call Jason Chen at this location?
I actually didn't even realize it was him at first. I had her call log. I had just gotten from Bryson and going over and seeing who she talked to recently. And so I was just calling the numbers on her call log.
When was the last time that she had talked to this number that you called?
The night before the 22nd.
And do you recall, based on her phone records, for how long that conversation lasted?
Yes, it was 71 minutes.
So to be clear, when you called Jason here in this photo that we're looking at, you didn't know it was Jason Chen?
Not until he said his name.
Had you spoken to him before this moment? And you said before he said his name was Jason Chen, did he verify that it was Jason?
Yes.
Did you ask him when the last time was he saw Jasmine?
I did. I started off with letting him know that she's missing. If he wanted to know if he had any idea where she would be at, because they were dating, and asked when he last spoke to her, how did she seem? I don't remember what all I asked him, but those were the,
Did he seem concerned?
No, he didn't.
And he said that he hadn't spoken to her. When was the last time you said you spoke to her?
I don't remember what he said. I remember that it was a lie. I had him on speakerphone. But I don't recall what he said.
Did he admit to talking to her on the 22nd when you asked him when the last time was that he
I
spoke to
think
her?
from what I can remember, he changed his story and said, oh, I did talk to her. And I asked for how long. And he had said just a few minutes, I believe. And, I muted the conversation and asked the officer, should I confront him? He has just lied about multiple things. I have the proof right here. And that's what sticks out to me.
Did you confront him?
I did.
And what did he say?
That he had to get off the phone. He was at the airport.
Hmm.
Did you ask him where he lived?
I did ask him where he lived.
And what did he say?
500 Tremont Street.
Did he ask you any questions
No,
about Jasmine?
no,
Did he ask you any questions about what you guys had done to find her?
no,
Did he offer his assistance?
no.
So, do you recall the name of the officer that came to Mountain Creek Road?
Pierre, I believe.
Okay, and describe to the jury how helpful, in your opinion, Officer Pierre was able to be.
He took a report, gave me a card, said that he would pass the information along to a detective that would be assigned. I would probably hear from them in 24 to 48 hours. And that's really all he could do.
He, do you recall if he was gonna go to 500 Tremont Street to see if Jason was there?
I asked him to follow me, and he said he could not do that.
Do you recall if at any point in time while he was there, he tried to contact another, potentially an investigator with the Chattanooga Police Department?
I don't remember. I was on the phone with Jason Chen.
Did anybody else from the Chattanooga Police Department come to Mountain Creek Road?
I do not believe so.
At Mountain Creek Road or soon thereafter, did you receive a call from anybody from the Chattanooga Police Department?
No,
No investigator called you to follow up?
no.
So did Officer Pierre leave Mountain Creek Road?
Yes,
When he left, were you still there?
yes.
And what did you proceed to do?
We called a tow for our daughter's vehicle to get towed to our house. We continued knocking on doors, showing pictures of my daughter, asking if anyone had seen her. We talked to the security officer at the apartments to see if he could help us with footage, since we knew the timing when her vehicle entered there, so we could see if Jasmine was driving the vehicle. So we know where to start looking. We started calling friends and family, asking for help to look for her.
Let me pause right there. Did you speak with the security officer at Mountain Creek Road?
I did.
Do you recall his name?
I do not.
That's okay. Did Officer Pierre assist you in contacting that security officer? Do you recall?
I'm not sure.
Okay. But you did speak to the security officer on this night?
I did, and then he actually called me back, and we went back there to look at security footage after he was able to get it.
And did you view that security footage?
I did.
Did it show your daughter's vehicle arriving at Mountain Creek Road?
It did.
Did you see he was inside?
No, you couldn't tell.
Okay. All right. So back to what you all did after that. You stayed at Mountain Creek Road, you talked to the security officer. At what point did you leave Mountain Creek Road?
Shortly after that, we went to 500 Tremont Street.
Why?
Jason Chen said that's where he lived.
What was it, 500 Tremont Street?
It was a abandoned house that was under construction. We spoke to some neighbors, asking, showing Jasmine's picture and asking if they had seen her.
Did you go other locations as well after you left Mountain Creek Road?
I did. By this time, there was multiple people sending in messages to Jasmine's best friend Bailey and about where he possibly lived, people that had worked with him.
You say him, you mean Jason Chen?
I do.
Okay.
I remember we went to a Mr. Burrito downtown because I guess above there is apartments that he, somebody called in and said that he lived there. He did priorly live there, but it wasn't there no more, so we just kept going and looking at any place that.
And who all was with you? Did anybody else join the search party? Is what I'll
Yes,
call it?
Travis Pace and his girlfriend Jackie, I'm not sure her last name.
Travis is Jasmine Pace.
Correct.
Anybody else?
And his girlfriend at the time, Jackie. And then later on in that evening, a friend of ours, Wayne Tubbs, had joined us too.
Is there anywhere else throughout the night that you went looking for Jasmine before you arrived at 110 Tremont?
I don't remember everywhere that we went. It was, I had slept a couple of days and we were just searching everywhere. Once the security officer from the apartments had got back with us, we were at one house. We just spoke to Shen's parents, which they just said, don't call back again.
Oh, wow.
And, we went back to the apartments to view the security footage. And while doing so, I looked back at mine and her messages.
You and whose messages?
Mine and Jasmine's messages,
Okay.
and seeing that she had sent me a pin drop her location. And that's why we went to the 110 Tremont.
What caused you to look back at your and Jasmine? So when you say conversation, do you mean your text thread?
Yes, our text thread.
What caused you to go back and look at that?
Don't remember, we were trying to get the footage working at the apartments with the help of the security officer. And I went on our thread and I seen it, and I didn't notice it before because I had sent her a pin drop on the 22nd because we normally had been taking my grandmother to the hospital downtown, and we didn't that day. And so I had sent her a pin drop showing her what hospital we were at. So, and I didn't notice that she had sent me a pin drop because I thought it was my pin drop I had sent to her.
Objection.
This mom is pretty tech savvy. Seems, yeah? Can anyone hear me? Randy, can you hear me or no?
I want to clear something up, Katrina. When you say that you located a pin drop, which is basically location sharing, you said from her, being Jasmine, you don't actually know whether it was her or not, but it came from her phone. Is that correct? So you can't testify whether or not she actually sent the pin drop.
No,
But did you have her number saved in your phone?
I do.
And did it come from what
Her
was
phone line.
her phone line? Okay. And do you recall approximately the day and time that location was shared from that phone with you?
It's November 23rd at 2:18 in the morning.
2:18 a.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What is it?
It's the pin drop coordinates from the message.
Does that accurately reflect what your phone showed when you clicked on that location that was shared with you?
Yes.
And was this photo taken by the Chattanooga Police Department?
I'm not sure.
Is that a picture of your phone that was shared? You're on, is that specific number, photo taken by the Chattanooga Police Department? It could be one, I would say this could be one judge that go together, so 7.
It's okay.
All right, so just while you look at the screen again. Is this what was shared with you from your daughter's phone?
Yes.
And is that another photo, when you click on that location, it's just another photo that comes up?
Yes.
What is, where this red is, what is this building?
Apartment complex, Jason Chen lives.
So, when you saw this location that had been shared with you, what did you do?
We leave if we go to that location.
Same people with you at this time?
At the moment, it was just Gabby, Travis, Jackie, and myself. Wayne Tubbs had met up with us later on in the evening after we arrived there.
What was your reaction when you saw this location drop?
I was scared because that was not normal. Jasmine had never sent me a pin drop location in the middle of the night.
At the time that you saw the location drop, did you know of anybody that lived or
No,
frequented this building?
no.
So you traveled to this location, do you recall what the address was?
I believe it's 110 Tremont Street.
Okay. And it's an apartment building, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And then have you turn around? Katrina, I just pulled up Google Maps, okay? Anyone can access this. Do you recognize this location?
Yes.
And what is this?
That is the apartment building that my daughter stuck in.
Okay,
Mm.
and do you recall when you got there, if you entered into a particular door that you could see in this photo?
I went into the door right there.
Okay. Let's see, the door, you're pointing to the only door you can see in this photo is And then, is this a parking lot?
It is.
Is there a parking lot on the other side of the building?
I'm not sure.
Where did you all park when you got there?
I actually parked right back in my car.
On the street?
I did it right by the parking lot.
Okay. Everybody's together, and so how did you get into the apartment building?
Actually, a gentleman that lived there let us in.
Did you tell them why you were there?
Yes.
And then what did you proceed to do in the building?
We knocked on every door. We were also trying to follow the coordinates with our phone to guide us to the coordinates that was sent to me.
What were you asking people when you knocked on their door?
If they had seen my daughter, showed them pictures.
And did something cause you to arrive at apartment 210?
Yes.
What was that?
Spoke to a neighbor that told me that
Objection, your side.
It's not going to matter now.
From the prior hearing, I believe this is going to explain why she did what she did, so for the non-hearsay purpose shall be admitted. Objection number. Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to hear the witness describe statements made by someone else other than her. They're not to be taken for the truth of the matter, sir. Only to be taken for the admissibility purpose of explaining why Ms. Bean did what she did. May continue.
So what led you to apartment 210?
neighbor said that he heard a woman scream within several minutes of the pin drop that I had received from my daughter.
Oh my God.
And
So awful.
from that direction,
I can't imagine. Can't imagine what she went through.
Jason's
This poor
apartment
mom.
door was the only one that someone didn't answer.
And where are the police? Why are
One
they
minute.
doing?
The person
Basically,
did-
what she's saying, which I imagine the police are going to get up here and
Go ahead.
I imagine the cops are going to get up here and dispute a few things and say, you know, they had to wait a certain amount of time or whatever. But she pretty much did all the work. Her and
Right.
her family.
He's out here searching and finding information. The police are doing damn near nothing. Oh my God, this is heartbreaking.
It is, but you know, the cops, they don't know your kid like you know, and they just think, oh, another, you know.
Right, she's out with friends. She's wherever. You know, they probably just think it's nothing. Not thinking
Parents
that she's
overreacting.
stabbed 60 times in a suitcase somewhere.
Right. God bless her.
Poor baby.
told you that the scream had come from a certain apartment. Was that apartment 210?
It was.
And did you and your family knock on that door?
We did. No one answered.
So this man heard a bunch of
Okay.
screaming but didn't call the police?
Explain to the jury
Yep.
what you and your family members then proceeded.
Absolutely.
I
Why?
had a credit card from my wallet out of my car, and we broke into the apartment.
I don't know.
I knew
She's all, I have a particular set of skills.
too close when my daughter sent me a pen.
Busted into their apartment. I love it.
Fact.
Good for her.
Was anybody
Fuck the-
there?
Mm-hmm.
What did you start doing when you got into the apartment?
We opened up the door and seen cleaning supplies and a notebook. I opened the notebook, seeing that it was Jason Chen's apartment. Opened up,
How did the notebook let you know that it was Jason's apartment?
it had his name on it.
And where was Jason? Was he making a run for it somewhere?
Desk drawers.
Probably
my
out
daughter's ID,
hiding stuff,
credit
you know.
cards,
Oh,
standing on the counter. A little travel bag of hers.
So you located some of Jasmine's belongings.
I did,
and you mentioned a desk, where,
Hmm.
when you walk in the door to Jason's apartment, can you describe the jury where the desk was at?
You walk in, it would be to your right.
Okay, and, who was it that opened that drawer of his desk?
I don't remember if it was myself or Travis. They were all right together. I took pictures of us entering and took pictures of the credit cards and the ID in the desk.
Smart thinking.
I know, right?
Do you recognize this photo?
Yes,
What are they?
Jason Chen's apartment door, and right when you first walk into his apartment.
Does that photo depict the desk that you were just testifying to?
Yes,
Is that what you recall looking like on November 23rd, 2022?
yes.
Your Honor, that's the state's next to it.
Sorry, two exhibits.
There are two photos, Judge.
Let's make them 8 and 9. Let's finish marking.
8 and 9. I'm showing the jury what's been marked now as State's Exhibit 9. So, Ms. Pace, you testified to, what is this behind you?
Jason Chen's door.
Okay. And then State's Exhibit number 8. Explain to the jury where we're at in Jason's apartment in relation to the door.
The doors to the left of this shoe rack.
And is that the desk here to the right that you were talking about?
Yes.
I think I'd call that the red flag room.
It's usually the front.
What is all that stuff?
Where in the
Oh no.
drawer her driver's license and credit card were?
Just open the door right there in the corner.
About,
Here goes my internet again.
I don't remember, I think they were stacked.
Oh, was it back?
Not, firstly, I took a picture of it.
do you recall whether you saw the driver's license first or the credit cards first?
I do not recall. I just remember seeing my daughter's license and credit cards.
Do you recall seeing the license and the credit cards before or after you saw her other belongings, the bag?
I saw the bag when I first walked in.
And can you tell her again, I think you said the counter, where was her bag?
It was just a little bag, it's right there, the back left, that counter right there, on the edge of the picture. It was right there on that.
What kind of bag was it?
It's just a little travel bag.
And did you contact law enforcement at 110 Tremont Street?
We did.
Okay. And, did patrol come to the location?
They did.
Were they able to help you?
No,
Did a investigator come out?
no,
Did you talk to Zach Crawford with the
No.
homicide division?
no,
Did you talk to any detective in the missing persons division?
Hmm.
Did patrol
Wow.
leave that apartment that
Yeah.
night without doing anything?
yes. I mean, they took another report
Told you,
and they talked to the neighbor.
but told you what?
And they passed along the information to the detective that it was assigned to.
Okay.
Did they talk to the neighbor that heard all the screaming?
Yes.
When patrol left the apartment building that night, did you and your family members also leave?
We went down to our vehicles and we waited until police left.
And then what'd you do?
I went back in
For
to
what?
his apartment
For what?
to get whatever, anything that I thought I could use to help find my daughter.
Were you frustrated?
I was scared.
Did you take items?
I did.
What did you take?
I took electronics, phones and tablets and
How many phones? Do you recall how many phones you found in Mr. Chen's
there was
apartment?
multiple
Okay. And what else?
notebooks. I don't remember what all there was.
How many times do you think you went back into Jason's apartment?
Like 2 or 3 times after that. And I took whatever I thought I would have to hire a traffic investigator for. I don't know, I was panicking. I didn't know what I needed to be able to find her. So I took whatever that I thought possibly I could go through and help find clues about where my daughter would be.
How many times, I'll ask it this way, what period of time was it that you were entering and exiting the apartment?
That morning,
I'm surprised she didn't get arrested.
the police was like,
Same.
Would that have been the morning of November 27th?
would have been, yeah.
Okay. So was it that day?
My timeline kind of, I hadn't slept still.
Do you know what day it was the last time you went into Jason's apartment?
I did not go into Jason Chen's apartment again after we met with Officer Crawford and was getting some help.
Okay. You're gonna be asked questions, as we now know, about staging crime scene. Katrina, did you have any idea what had happened to your daughter?
No,
Did you have any desire to pin it on to Jason Chen at that point?
I was still looking for my daughter.
Did you ever bring anything into the apartment and leave it there?
No,
Did you take massive quantities of Jasmine's blood and pour it in the floor?
I didn't see any.
Oh my gosh.
blood.
You didn't take anything into the apartment, did you?
No,
They're accusing her of going in and making it worse.
Wow.
Did you move things around so that police would see items in certain places?
no,
Were you concerned at that point about the police investigation?
I wasn't thinking about a police investigation. I was just trying to find her.
She's still hoping maybe her daughter's alive.
Right.
Insanely scared. That's not bad. What's going on?
At some point, finally, did investigators with the Chattanooga Police Department get involved?
Yes.
What was the first contact you had with them?
Well, Officer Tumlin, I had sent the pictures and the information I had myself and her friends had collected. And he had informed me not to call him on weekends. He would get back to me in normal business hours.
You know, Officer Tomlin, do you know what division of the CPD he worked with?
I don't.
Okay, did you talk to him and I'm sorry, continue.
And then after that, Dr. Crawford and Emory got involved.
At some point, did investigators of the Chattanooga Police Department come to your home to take photos of some of the items you had taken from Jason's apartment?
Yes,
And to be clear, did you take Jasmine's driver's license and her credit cards from Jason's apartment
yes,
to your house?
yes.
That's heartbreaking. Poor thing.
Do you recognize these photos, Katrina?
No.
Yes,
Were those photos taken at your home?
Yeah.
Are those photos taken of items that you took from Jason Chen's apartment? That you see that these 4 photos of the school judge, these things, next 4 exhibits.
For 13.
I mean, I understand why the police would feel like, she could be tampering with a crime scene or blah, blah, blah. Like, I get all that. I just wish they would have done more to help her.
Yeah, me too.
State's Exhibit 13. Katrina, is that your daughter?
it is.
Got her valid driver's license.
Yes,
Hmm.
Underneath that driver's license are those her credit cards that you took from Jason Chen's apartment.
yes.
God bless her.
That's so sad.
Is this a photo of other items that were taken from Mr. Chen's apartment,
Yes,
including that cell phone on top? It looks like some clothing items.
yes.
I'm sorry. That was 6 to 12. Now we are showing this being State's Exhibit 11. More items, again, 4 phones, and then what is this item right here?
I don't even remember, but it looks like a camera.
Okay.
Or a camera.
And was there some type of iPad in this?
Correct.
And these are to the right, some of the notebooks that you took.
Yes.
And lastly, State's Exhibit number 10, this is sort of a further back photo, is that correct? And it shows, again, Jasmine's driver's license and credit card, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you also
Okay,
allow
Rosebud.
investigators to view and potentially collect items from the pool house that Jasmine was staying in?
Yes.
Describe the pool house for the jury.
Right below our house. In front of a pool,
Their place to sleep.
there is.
Was Jasmine staying there temporarily, or was that her place of residence long term?
She was staying there temporarily
Why?
because we've had been working on the house at the bottom of our driveway. It was almost finished. It was for her.
So she was living in a pool house while her house was being built. Showing the witness 4 photos. Do you recognize those photos?
I do.
What are they?
They're the outside of my pool house and the inside of it.
Were those photos taken the week of November 23rd, 2022?
Yes,
Is that what the pool house looked like at that time?
yes,
Does it show some of Jasmine's belongings?
yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask that these 4 photos be the State's next 4 exhibits.
14 through 17.
what's been marked as State's Exhibit 14. Ms. Dean, is that your full house?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 15. Is that the bathroom in the full house?
Yes.
That would have been the bathroom that Jasmine was using?
Yes.
Another photo of the bathroom?
Yes.
To the left is the shower, is that correct?
Correct.
Sorry, this is Exhibit 16, and then lastly, State's Exhibit 17. This is a photo of the shower.
Yes.
Would you agree that the item there located at the base of the shower is a toothbrush?
It is.
That's a toothbrush?
It is.
Let's be clear about something for the jury, Ms. Bean. Police department came to your home on this night, correct? Did you ever go back to Jason's apartment after the police department came to your home on this night?
No.
Why?
Because I felt like they were gonna help me.
Were you aware that a search warrant was executed at Jason's apartment on November 28th, 2022?
Yes.
What was the next contact that you had with the Chattanooga Police Department?
I don't remember.
Were you informed that your daughter's blood had been found inside Jason Chen's apartment?
Yes.
I'm gonna have a moment, Judge. Katrina, you've been to all the court dates in this case, haven't you?
Almost all of them, except for a couple I had to listen to on live.
You've never heard the defendant admit that he murdered your daughter, ever?
No.
First time you heard that story was today.
Yes.
Is that what affected you when you were first?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Oh, wow.
How helpful is Officer Pierre at the apartments?
Took a report and gave me a card.
Good grief. You can't hear either one of them.
Trying to check if the police department helpful when you were down the street or at the single view apartments.
No.
You then went from there to Waffle House.
No.
At some point you go to Waffle House.
Yes.
And that's where you discover pin drop.
Yeah, he's not going to look good if he comes off hugging this mother.
It was after Waffle House. Waffle House, we called his parents.
But you saw that message and that's what led you to Jason Chen's apartment.
No, I wasn't at Waffle House. I believe I was at the apartment complex when I seen the pin drop, and that is what led us to the apartments.
You were interviewed by police about what happened at Jason's apartment.
Yes.
case about how you got inside?
That we knocked hard and that it opened up.
That was a lie.
It was.
Yeah, big deal.
Remember testifying-
She got her daughter. She's looking for her daughter. Don't care.
Yeah.
And just
I don't
like
care if she took a cannon to the front door, sir.
you took
Don't
the-
care.
I did.
You swore to tell the truth,
Yes.
the whole truth,
Yes.
and nothing but the truth.
Yep.
What did you tell this court on how you got, or how you entered into the apartment?
That we opened up the credit card.
Did you say during that hearing who opened the door with the credit card?
I don't remember.
If you saw a copy of your transcript of the testimony of that day, would that refresh your memory?
Sure.
Please go ahead and read over your previous testimony and let me know when you have an opportunity.
Yep. That's just what she needs.
I can't hear. What is he doing?
Oh, I guess she didn't tell the last time she said it. She didn't admit to taking her credit card and opening the door.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. She's looking for her child.
Did you mean to give me two separate pages that are
Keeping them
page
together.
28? and
You really
45?
gonna give her shit about that?
No, I respect you. Go ahead, take those back.
No, I think it's going to try to prove that she's
Refresh your
untruthful.
recollection.
Yes, that we entered in. Um,
Who did you tell the court opened the door at the hearing in which you testified?
Travis,
And did you say whether or not you had seen him open the door?
I was behind him. I didn't see him do it, but
Did you not just testify on direct that you opened the door with a credit card?
no, I did not. So that we went down and I got a credit card from my wallet.
And who opened the door?
Travis opened the door.
And did you see him do it?
I was behind him. I can't say that I seen him or watched him do it, but he was opening it and then we got in, so.
I can't believe he's making a deal out of that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, keep pestering this grieving mother. I'm sure that could only go well for you.
Page 45.
Mm-hmm.
Read that and let me know if that refreshes your recollection.
Yep, Amy.
Refresh my recollection on,
How you made entry using Jason Chen's apartment.
I already said that we used a credit card and entered his apartment.
And what did you say on that?
It says right here. You asked, would you remember whether or not someone had to use a credit card to jimmy the door open for you to get in? I said, I don't remember, actually. And I believe that was because you were asking about the next time we got in, not the original time.
Why would you have to use a credit card to get in a second or third time after you've already opened?
Because I'm assuming it was locked.
And so after the first time of entering the apartment, you didn't unlock the door.
Pardon me,
After the first time of entering the apartment, you didn't unlock the door.
did I unlock the door?
You did not unlock the door.
I don't know. I don't remember the details of if a door was locked or if a drawer was opened or a cabinet or who did it. I don't remember those details.
Who
Those were
cares? What difference does it make?
Yeah.
not relevant details to me in the moment because
Exactly.
you
Thank
open a
you.
cabinet or a door or
She's looking for a missing
It
child.
isn't. And I'm recalling it to the best of my ability for something that happened 2.5 years ago, that I hadn't slept and that I was scared to death.
So when I asked you back in February last year, so you went in there, how did you get into the apartment? You said, I don't remember.
Oh, well, that was for the second time. And I don't remember.
And you're saying that you went back into the apartment 2 or 3 times?
Yes.
After you had gone through Jason's apartment, well, let me ask this, how many people went into Jason's apartment?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I can't count that I was there.
Who else?
Gabby and Travis. I don't know who else, if anyone else went in.
And after you found Jason's belongings in there, all the police,
Yes,
how many police officers responded?
2 or 3.
Did any of those officers go inside?
Yes,
Were you aware that they were wearing body cameras?
I wasn't.
Would you remember what the apartment looked like when you went in on that day?
I can't say that exactly. I would.
If we could have the best laptop.
It's like something out of a movie. The police do nothing, so the parents take their matters into their own hands with the evidence they need.
Yeah, and then that one good cop comes along and helps them, but we don't know who he is yet. We just hope he shows up. Hey, Davy.
I do. I hope he shows up somewhere.
Yeah.
If somebody puts a muzzle on this fool, giving her a hard time about it, makes me mad. She doesn't need, the last thing she needs is a hard time right now, man. I don't care. Your client chopped her up in a million pieces. Shut up.
And she had to go in his apartment herself to find her daughter's stuff.
Can't believe the police were absolutely worthless.
If they would even have told her, "Hey, we're getting the search warrant," but that it doesn't sound like they were.
No, because they didn't. It doesn't seem like they even considered her a missing person yet. They were still on the give her a minute, she'll show up phase. Bet they feel stupid now.
Yeah. Really cut out for true crime trial. I'm beginning to wonder if we're really cut out. Well, we are. We know he's doing his job.
I don't care. I don't like him. And I don't have to. Helping this murderer. Fuck him.
I really don't care for his approach, but
Attack a grieving mother because she went in to try to save her child. Yeah, it's terrible. She's the bad guy here. Is that it? Is he done with her? Oh, no, he's not.
Your Honor, that's right. Already proceeded.
Can we approach Judge?
What did he say?
I couldn't hear him.
Damn it.
I know. What are they doing lately? They have to know. Like, people in the courtroom can't hear either, I bet.
Well, the people in the courtroom need to hear it. The jury just needs to hear him, and I'm sure the jury can hear him fine. I just
Oh, I
wish that,
hope.
like, like court team. Well, I'm sure if the jury couldn't, they would have said something by now. You know, hey, if you
Yeah.
actually want us to weigh in on this trial, we're going to need to be able to hear it. But, but Court TV or whoever's filming it, like, they've got to be. Sometimes, by day 2 or 3, they get a better setup going. Maybe because
Well, they're not
I'm
the
sure
ones that set up the micro.
they're not.
They don't. Uh-uh. No,
Who
they don't
sets up?
set up the microphones.
Who sets up? No, not the microphones, but they can tell if the audio is good or not. And last time they were able to make, some changes. At least I thought they were. Maybe they weren't.
Yeah, if they can get a message to the judge, maybe. I mean, this woman's been through so much. I can't even.
Yeah, I don't understand giving her a hard time.
And then
That's not
today's the first day that she hears that, he killed her daughter in self-defense.
self-defense. Sure,
I'd like
man.
to know what his story was before that. And I hope he puts out a story that we can hear.
Yeah.
She came at me with a wine bottle, and I just so happened to have a knife to open the wine.
God.
Mm-mm-mm.
60 times stabbed her in self-defense. How? Stop it. It's ridiculous. So what's happening right now?
She's having to wait while they get up there and argue, hopefully about audio issues.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So, man, he's just going to keep repeating the same things. So you did go in there with a credit card, even though you didn't admit that. And of course you're not going to admit that.
Right. And so what? Last thing she needs to be dealing with is getting arrested while her daughter is missing and the police do nothing.
But I don't think she cared. She
I
broke in there
wouldn't.
3 times. She
Yeah,
didn't care.
I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care at all. And I don't even know why the police would care either. Unless she's messing with the crime scene.
Which is what, now they do say that. They are going to use that as a defense.
Well, they're going to have to prove it.
Yeah.
They have any proof that she messed with the crime scene? Other than the word of,
No. But, I wondered, they could have said that she planted it, but now he's already admitted to it, so.
Yeah.
I wonder what made him do that.
I don't know. Because, if he wants to use self-defense.
Yeah, that the 90-pound girl was scaring him.
It's so crazy.
Sorry, Judge, the technology seems quick.
We've been wrestling with it all morning, so take your time.
May I personally use it?
Feel free to record.
Dean, do you recognize this scene?
Does the jury have any questions for Mrs. Bean? Ms. Bean, Mr. Bill.
She done?
Yeah.
Your Honor, the state will call Officer Mackenzie Pierre.
I swear.
Hello, Officer Pierre.
Hello.
Can you say your full name as a court reporter?
Officer Mackenzie Cole Pierre.
And
Good.
Officer Pierre, where are you currently employed?
I'm employed with the Chattanooga Police Department,
And what division of the police department do you currently work in?
neighborhood policing, so just basic patrol.
Okay, and in November of 2022, were you working in the same position?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Is there a certain area of town in your role that you primarily work?
Yes, ma'am, the area is referred to as Adam North, that's more of like North Chattanooga. My specific area is Adam 5, that includes the Mountain Creek Road area, Moxon Bend, Signal Mountain Road area, and part of North Shore as well.
Were you working the night shift in November 2022?
I was working the second shift, so the in-between, yes, ma'am.
What is second shift?
So the second shift runs from 3 p.m. to 1 a.m.
And you stated that you're on patrol. Can you define for the jury what the duties of a patrol officer are at the Chattanooga Police Department?
So our basic duties are one to answer calls to service, which vary greatly depending on whether it be civil matters, domestic disorders, more serious, heinous, aggravated assault crimes, vehicle thefts, like I said, a very great variety, as well as also do our best to deter any crime from occurring by being proactive, making traffic stops, and just watching out for suspicious activity to begin with.
On major cases, felony cases, are you called to investigate them?
Yes, ma'am. At least to take the initial report and, do as much as we can at that time.
And if there needs to be, if it's a more serious case, what would then happen in your position on patrol? If it was something that was above your head, what would you then do?
That's when we go ahead and contact one of our investigation units to notify them, kind of give them the rundown of the details, what the report number is, and how much information that we have gathered so far, so that they can follow up with whoever they need to follow up with to continue the investigation.
So if, for example, it's a robbery, who would you call?
The robbery investigator, whoever is on call that evening.
If it's a homicide, who would you call?
Our major crimes division.
If it's a missing person, who would you call?
Our missing persons division. Yes, ma'am.
You are not equipped with the resources to investigate on those types of cases.
Not as equipped as the specific, specialized units. No, ma'am.
Okay. One second, Judge. I apologize. On November, I'm going to draw your attention to November 2022. Do you recall being working on shift on November 26, 2022?
Yes, ma'am, I believe so.
Do you recall on that day being called to 900 Mountain Creek Road?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you remember about that call?
I remember it came out as a missing persons call, and that, they were concerned about their adult daughter having not been in contact with her for quite some time, which was very much so unlike her. And so I responded on scene to meet with a complainant, Ms. Katrina.
And were you the only patrol officer that arrived on, at Mount Ruby Road that night?
Yes, ma'am.
You were by yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said you recall, meeting Katrina, are you talking about the victim's mother in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you recall who else was there?
I believe her husband was there, and then a friend or family member. I don't recall the exact relation, but there was someone else there with them.
Had you known anything about this missing person, except for what you learned when you arrived there at 900 Mount Creek Road? Did you know anything else about it?
No, ma'am, no.
Okay. Do you recall the individuals there, naming a person of interest?
I do recall them mentioning after, discussing more of the details, that she had been seeing someone fairly recently by the name of Jason Chen. And they questioned, if we should reach out to him and possibly try contacting him to see if he knows any more information about where Jasmine could possibly be.
Do you recall if Katrina on that night did call Jason?
Yes, ma'am, she did.
Was that phone call on speakerphone?
Yes.
Could you hear Mr. Chen or Jason?
Yes, I could hear parts of the conversation. There were numerous people there I was also speaking to as well, so I did not catch the entire conversation, but I did hear where, Miss Katrina asked him, where he lived and when the last time he spoke to Jasmine was.
When he was asked where he lived, do you recall what he said?
I don't recall the exact address. I do recall finding out after the fact that it was the incorrect address.
Do you
Oh,
recall when he said the last time was that he saw Jasmine?
I do not recall the specific date, but I do recall when Miss Katrina asked him that question, she muted the phone and advised me that she had pulled phone records and that he was not telling the truth because she'd seen that they contacted each other the day after that he was claiming he had last spoken to her.
Wow.
Do you recall when he said he last spoke to her?
Not the specific date, no. ma'am.
Okay. Did you ever try to visit the location that he said he lived at?
I fully intended to, but that night with it being the call load after I had done what I was supposed to do on my end as far as having her interview as missing and contacting investigators, I got caught up with
the answer's no.
various other calls to servers coming out, so I did not have a chance to run by that address. No, ma'am.
Wow.
Was Fremont Street within your
Mhm.
area? Was that
Well,
within Adam 5?
Rufus did nothing.
It's the district right next to mine, so Adam 4.
Okay, borders your district.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
While you were out there, did you consider calling a missing persons investigator?
Yes, ma'am, and I did so.
Yeah, and which missing persons investigator was that?
I requested dispatch put the on-call missing persons investigator phone number on the CAD dispatch card for me, and it was Investigator Blunt that I made contact with that evening.
What does on-call mean?
On-call means, if it's late at night or something like that for that weekend or that
Means he was
time
in
of year
bed.
during the week, if it's after business hours, you're the person that gets contacted.
And that was Investigator Blunt?
Investigator Blunt was who I was referred to and who I spoke to that evening.
And
Yes,
she works in the missing persons division?
yes, ma'am.
And how'd you feel about calling Investigator Blunt that night?
I was not too excited, if I'm being frank.
Why?
Me and her do not get along too well.
Okay.
Oh,
And
Shit.
did you relay
Really?
information that you had been given by Jasmine Pace's family?
Yes, ma'am, I did. I gave her the complaint number, all the information that I knew. I
Did not
mentioned
expect
the
that.
Possible boyfriend or, person that Mr. Chen, that she had been speaking to, and conveyed that her parents were quite concerned over the matter and that they would like to be contacted at some point.
What'd she say?
She said, okay, go ahead and forward me the information and, I'll reach out to them.
Did anyone else in the police department, I apologize. Did anyone else from the police department come out to Mountain Creek Road that night?
No,
Were you able to give to Jasmine's family Investigator Blunt's phone number?
I don't believe I gave them her phone number specifically. Typically, we wait for the investigators to reach out to the family members and victims.
So to your knowledge that night, while you were there, Investigator Blunt did not speak with the Pace family.
To my knowledge, no.
Did she ask you, hey, will you hand the phone to them so I can talk to them?
No.
You didn't do that?
No.
So in your capacity as a patrol officer, what were you able to do for Jasmine's family that night?
So for that evening, I explained to them, which I also did, that I had Jasmine entered into the NCIC national database as a missing person, so that if anyone was ever to locate her and run her information, it would pop up bright red on the screen, missing person. And then I would contact a missing persons investigator, give them all the information that they just conveyed to me, give them my complaint number. But as of right now, in my position where I was at, like that is the most that I can do.
Sure. Do you recall communicating with them that you weren't able to name Jason Chen as a suspect at that time?
I don't recall specifically stating that.
Were you able to name Jason Chen as a suspect at that time?
No, absolutely not.
Do you recall contacting the security officer for the apartment building?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
Do you recall speaking with him?
Yes.
Did you ever meet him?
Oh, I've known him my entire career here.
What's his name?
Scott Miller.
Okay, so did he come out that night
Yes, ma'am, he did.
and you spoke with him?
Yes, and he spoke with family members as well.
Did you recall if he was able to search for any video from the apartment complex?
I know he explained to me that it would be hard to try to get it pulled up that evening, but that would be something that he'd be working on, that hopefully the following day he would be able to have access to.
Did he confirm that there were video cameras on the property?
He advised that there were cameras. He was just unsure about the angles and if they were going to be able to capture anything.
That night or any time thereafter, were you able to do anything else for Jasmine Pace's family?
No, ma'am. So the only further thing I had was, I believe, a day or two after taking the initial report, I was contacted by another missing persons investigator Tumlin, who also asked me for all the details and the complaint number of the incident.
What day was that?
I don't recall if it was a day or two after, but it was sometime shortly after the initial report was taken.
And you relayed all of the information you had to him as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing further, Judge. No questions, Your Honor.
Jury, have any questions for Officer Pierre?
Well, now you got to say, now what?
Mm.
Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. I wonder if she probably can't ask him, but I'd love to know his thoughts on the way the police handled all of this that day.
Yeah, and I'd love to know his thoughts if it didn't get as quickly looked into because that woman didn't like him.
Right. That's what I wonder too. She didn't take it very seriously because she didn't like this guy.
I'll go and answer the first
Yeah.
question. Says, can you ask a question after a witness leaves the stand? Fortunately, if the witness happens to be recalled for some reason, possibly. Dr. Pierre, the jury has a question for you. I'm going to ask it, if you can face the jury when you answer this, okay? Yes, sir. For clarification, this location is where the vehicle was found?
Yes, the 900 Mount Creek Road was a location where the victim's vehicle was located.
Can you redirect based on my question?
Your Honor, just to help clarify for the jury based on that question. Officer Pierre, I'm going to show you what's already been marked as the state's exhibit 3, 4, 5, and 6. Well, 4 is duplicative, so there's 2 there that'll look very similar. But if you could look at those real quick. Do you recognize those photos?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
What are those photos from?
That is from the parking lot at the apartment complex at 900 Mountain Creek Road.
And would these be screenshots of your body footage?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
Nothing.
Can you recross?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
The state would call Megan Dean.
Yeah, me too, Pammy.
solemnly swear affirm the testimony about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Your Honor, may we approach?
God, someone in that room has the damn plague.
Yeah, I know.
Jeez.
You can't hear anything else but that.
Just the constant hacking. Yeah. My God. You all right over there, buddy?
Can you say your full name for the court's record for us? Megan Ashley Dean. And Ms. Bean, are you employed? Where do you work? I work at Walmart. Okay, which Walmart is that? Single Mountain. Is it called Single Mountain Road? Yes. Okay. How close in proximity to Mountain Creek Road is your Walmart? I would say maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10. Okay. How close is your Walmart to what we call the North Shore?
Ooh, maybe it was Walmart.
Maybe 5 minutes.
That means that article had it wrong
Do you
then. The
know how
article
close
said
your
Walgreens.
Walmart is to Sup Creek Road?
Mm.
Okay. And in November of 2022, were you also employed at the Walmart? Yes, ma'am. Okay, and what is your role, explain to the jury what your role at Walmart is.
I work in asset protection, so I review video, and basically investigate.
Do you recall in November of 2022 being contacted by investigators of the Chattanooga Police Department about possible video footage or evidence of receipts?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you recall who that was?
I don't remember the name exactly.
Female, male?
It was male.
Okay. And is that something typically in the normal course of your job that you would be asked?
Yes, ma'am.
What type of video system does the Walmart on Single Mountain Road have?
We have basically video. It accesses all of the registers. It accesses the sales floor, back rooms, anything that you really need to look at in the store.
Who has access to that video equipment?
Only the people in my position.
Okay. And you know how to use that video equipment? Do you often pull security footage for law enforcement?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that one of your roles?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any way to pull receipts from past purchases?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you do that?
We have a certain system that we go through, so we can either use a credit card or if we have a date or a specific time. And we know the
Oh, he went to both, baby? Oh, I didn't see that in the article.
Okay, and so do you recall what the investigator came to see you? Were they asking for a receipt,
Oh.
or were they asking for video, or were they asking for both?
Both.
And did they
I would
specify
explain
time
that,
frame
though.
for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you able to pull that up for them?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go through that with them, or did you let them go through it?
I would go with them.
And did they signify that they were gonna need to take some of that footage from you?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you in fact pull some of that footage and give it to the Chattanooga Police Department
I gave it to the detective.
that was there with you? Okay. And were you able to tell from that footage at what time, did the footage show a purchase?
Yes.
Were you able to connect footage to a specific receipt of purchase?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you able in the Walmart system to pull, again, for lack of a better term, that receipt?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you do that for investigators?
I did.
Did you give it to them?
I did.
I'm gonna, show the witness. Okay, we'll look at that. Have you seen this before? Have you seen it plugged into a computer before?
Yes, ma'am.
What's on there?
It is basically the video footage of Jason Chen and him selecting certain items, going throughout the store, proceeding to self-checkout, and paying for stuff.
Do you recall what day the video was from?
I believe it was November 23rd.
And were you able to, based on reviewing that video, were you also able to pull the receipt that was connected to that purchase?
Yes, ma'am.
Are there multiple video angles on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is one of them from a register?
Yes.
Is it self-checkout? Okay. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the receipt that you were able to retrieve for the Chattanooga Police Department detective?
Yes.
And what date is on that receipt?
November 23rd, 2022.
Your Honor, I ask that both the jump drive for the video and the receipt be entered as the state's next two exhibits.
Objection. Exhibit 18 will be the jump drive. Exhibit 19 will be the receipt. Excuse me.
No, it's not.
Ms. Bean, I'll show you on the screen behind you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 19. I've lost my pointer. Where is that? Oh, there we go. All right, so this is the receipt that you gave to the detectives. Again, can you, this date down here, 11/23/22, would that have been the date of the purchase?
Yes, ma'am.
And then if I can point you in the direction of, well, is that time correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Are dates and times on these receipts normally correct?
Yes.
Okay. You can see here, there's a bunch of stars followed by 4189. What is that?
That would be a card. It would be a debit card.
Would 4189 be the last four digits?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you can see here expiration date,
Yes, ma'am.
0526.
Yes, ma'am.
Would that be the expiration date of the card?
It would.
Were you able to view what was purchased that's related to this receipt and to the video?
Yes, ma'am.
Was asparagus purchased?
It was not.
Sorry.
Was something else scanned on the video as asparagus?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall what that was?
I believe one was maybe some.
That's pretty
seasoning
genius,
water
though.
and
I gotta admit.
something like that. I don't remember the other one.
I mean, maybe not genius since he was caught, but it's a smart idea.
Here, the state has no further questions for this witness.
Jury have any questions for Mrs. Dean?
I hope the jury understood what just happened. That was kind of fast. You know? Like she should have pounded it home, I think, a little more like.
You're gonna make me afraid.
You know, like the fact that he was hiding it or trying to hide it. Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? Randy, did you leave again? Or can no one hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, I'm back.
Don't you think that was it's pretty ingenious, right? That he tried to do that. As
I
far
did.
as some criminals go, right? Like it's pretty. That's neat. That was a nice try. What he tried to do. I wish that
Yes.
he had put that
And
home for the jury.
pound it home because that shows he planned it.
Absolutely, and it shows that he knew the difference between right and wrong. Because in a little while they're going to come up here with this Yahoo who's going to try to say that he wasn't in his right mind. Well, yeah, he was because he was purchasing, bleach and called it asparagus. Although maybe that could, maybe that's his reason. He's like he thought he had asparagus, and he really had bleach. Obviously, he's crazy.
I hate it when I mix my asparagus up with my bleach.
I know, such a bad day, when that happens. Get home all ready to eat my yummy asparagus and bought the bleach again. Damn it. Hate when that happens. Ugh.
Oh, I guess I can stop that banner now.
Yeah. I was just thinking that would be good for anyone who came in and didn't know who was on the stand. So is that it? Are we at lunch now?
They've already had lunch. It's 10 minutes.
Oh, so they're just taking a break, just a 10-minute break? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that the jury understood because they didn't even ask any questions. Like, why would he think it was asparagus? Yes. Ask that question, jury.
Yeah, I want to know, are they sitting there completely understanding what's happening, or are they sitting there thinking, what just happened?
Right. What do you mean he rang up asparagus? That doesn't make any sense. I hope they get it. I hope they understand what that means. Ugh. This jury's not asking a bunch of questions either.
It's their first day.
They've
probably nervous.
Maybe they don't know what to ask.
I wouldn't know what to ask.
No, I don't know. And I'd be worried too that I would sound stupid, like I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, me too.
Like I'd be so self-conscious, I think.
Yeah, was it green or purple asparagus?
But then the prosecutor at least would know. Like it'd be nice as the prosecution to kind of see where the jury's at, and then adjust as needed. Like, well, obviously they need me to walk them through this a little bit more. Okay, so I will.
We can only hope they understood it.
I really do hope they understood that. I do. I'm a little nervous because she went over it really fast.
But I do, again, that was a smart thing to do, so they wouldn't have the Walmart receipt. Like you could tell he watches some true crime.
Right. He really did make an effort there. And honestly, it's not the worst idea.
Right.
As far as criminals go, that's actually a pretty smart idea. I didn't realize that you could get caught doing that. That's not good.
He probably didn't either.
Yeah, like whoops. So you can tell. Okay. Well, I didn't know that. But I mean, but the idea of marking it as something else, I didn't even know you could do that. I don't know
Well,
that I've
I
ever done
think
checkout. To be honest,
I've used it a few times, but when it comes to produce, like I always let them come help me because you got to find the number and punch it in. Sometimes it has a barcode, but sometimes it don't. But most of the time, I don't go to self checkout, and it's nothing. I don't mind doing it. It's just if I got a lot of stuff, I just don't want to bag all of it.
yeah, I don't think
I'd rather.
I haven't done. I haven't. Well, but then to be fair, I haven't grocery shopped in decades. I get my stuff delivered for years. So it's literally been decades probably since I've been to the grocery store. So I don't do that anyway. So
I they have a lot more cashiers now at Walmart. I'm glad.
Pammy B said he went to both Walmart and Walgreens.
Wonder what he got at Walgreens.
I know, I went me too. The article said Walgreens. I even double checked it because when you said Walmart, I looked to make sure that I was, what mine said. And it said Walgreens again. And then Pammy now said that he went to both. And so I'm wondering what he got there. And do we have that receipt? I'd love to know. Maybe he actually got asparagus over there. He's like, oh, damn, I need asparagus.
They don't sell asparagus at Walgreens.
They don't? Like even cans or something?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. Again, decades, girl. I don't have no idea. I don't know what they have at grocery stores.
Yeah, Walgreens. I think. Well, you get prescriptions filled there.
That's what I know of Walgreens. Yes, I get my prescriptions at
But
Walgreens.
they do have a pretty big store though. I've bought leggings there before too.
Mm-hmm. And you can get like lotion and shampoo, and it's like a CVS, like it's a drugstore.
Yeah. I even bought some water shoes at Walgreens. Never mind. You could
I
probably get
noticed.
asparagus.
Yeah, maybe they could. You don't know. Maybe they could. I noticed that she kept calling it the Walmart, which kept cracking me up every time I heard her say it. I died.
Me too, gal. Me too. It's the Walmart.
The Walmart. Like, this is the South. You know you're in the South.
Yep.
It's not Walmart. It's the Walmart.
We thought he was suspicious because he was wearing tennis shoes and not his house shoes.
Hmm. All right, well,
I
I'm
know,
ready
me
for
too.
the map. So, are we gonna do the rest of this tomorrow, or are we gonna stick with this?
Oh, well, yeah, we can end it here and start up tomorrow because I think the rest of today is going to be the cops that showed up. I'm going to listen to it, and we can definitely go over it tomorrow if anything good pops up. I got to cook anyway in 30 minutes.
Yeah, let's do that then. I'm getting tired.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
good stream. I appreciate everybody that showed up and came. I know
Yeah.
these are not huge, but they're intimate.
Well, I mean, and I think once we get going, I think it catches steam once.
Yeah.
Once we get going on it. So
We'll get
But I
get
can't
the
stop yawning,
momentum.
so I need to hang up at some point. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't want to catch that. All right.
No.
I'll see y'all later. Thank y'all so
Bye,
much.
guys.
Love y'all.
I love you guys. Whoever's in that courtroom needs to get a throat